Well, because COVID has become the focus, people with heart disease, people with cancer, hypertension, and various things that are critical are choosing not to come in based on fear. People are saying, I don't want to go get seen by my doctor. What if I get the COVID? So I want to look at New York State. They've been in the news a lot, right? That's 39% of New Yorkers tested positive for COVID-19, which is a 0.1% chance of dying from COVID in the state of New York. And they have a 92% recovery rate. Does that necessitate sheltering in place? Does that necessitate people being out of work? USA, this is a big one for us, is 64 million. That's a significant amount of people with COVID. It's similar to the flu. If you study the numbers in 2017 and 2018, we had 50 to 60 million with the flu. And we have a similar death rate. The deaths in the United States were 43,545. Similar to the flu of 2017, 2018. We always have between 37 and 60,000 deaths in the United States every single year. No pandemic talk, no shelter in place, no shutting down of businesses. I want to compare the U.S. to Spain, because Spain is number 2 in the race for the most cases, which is not a race we want to win. 22% of those tested were positive in Spain. Spain has 47 million people. So that equates to about 10 million cases. If we extrapolate the data, as we've been doing with every state, how many died in Spain? 21,282 out of 47 million. You have a 0.05 chance of dying from COVID as a citizen of Spain, and a 90% chance of recovery from COVID. When you bring up a system of lockdown, you automatically have to compare it to a system of no lockdown, Sweden and Norway. Norway has lockdown, Sweden does not have lockdown. What happened in those two countries? About 2 million cases of COVID in Sweden. They did a little bit of social distancing. They would wear masks and separate. They went to schools, stores were open. They were almost about their normal daily life with a little bit of social distancing. They had how many deaths? 1,765. Norway, they have about 1.3 million cases. Now, their deaths as a total number were 182, fairly small, but statistically insignificant from 1,700, you realize. It is not statistically significant whether you lock down or not, so why are we doing it? What has it caused to have us be involved in social isolation? Child molestation is increasing due to angry family members who are intoxicated, who are home, who have no paycheck. Spousal abuse. We see people coming in here with black eyes and cuts on their face. Alcoholism, anxiety, depression, suicide. Education has dropped off. Economic collapse. These are all real things that I'm seeing every day. I don't read about this stuff. I'm seeing it in my clinics. These things will affect people for a lifetime, not for a season. So now I want to talk about the immune system. The immune system is built by exposure to antigens, viruses, bacteria. When you take human beings and you say, go into your house, clean all your counters, Lysol them down, you're going to kill 99% of viruses and bacteria, wear a mask, don't go outside. What does it do to our immune system? Our immune system is used to touching. When you take that away from me, my immune system drops. As I shelter in place, my immune system drops. You keep me there for months, it drops more. Sheltering in place decreases your immune system. And then as we all come out of shelter in place with a lower immune system and start trading viruses and bacteria, what do you think is going to happen? Disease is going to spike. And now I'm at home hand washing vigorously, washing the counters, worried about things that are indeed what I need to survive. Let's follow the science. This is immunology, folks. This is microbiology. Is the flu less dangerous than COVID? Let's look at the death rates. No, it's not. They're similar in prevalence and in death rate. So we are saying that our response now that we know the facts, it's time to get back to work. It's time to test people. The flu kills people, COVID kills people. But for the rest of us, we develop herd immunity. We develop the ability to take this virus in and defeat it. Typically, you quarantine the sick. When someone has measles, you quarantine them. We've never seen where we quarantine the healthy, where you take those without disease and without symptoms and lock them in your home. I can go into Costco and I can shop with people, and there's probably a couple hundred people, but I can't go in Cafe Rio. So big businesses are open, little businesses are not. There's no science behind that.
Why can't you go to the park and walk around, but you can go to Home Depot and nobody's wearing a mask. It doesn't make sense.
It's okay for us to go to Costco, but not to church. Do you see the lack of consistency here? From a microbiological, immunological standpoint, that doesn't make sense. If you're going to isolate people, you need to shut these all down, because that's how the fomites are being transferred. When you go to Del Taco and you get a plastic bag or piece on your burrito from someone not wearing a mask who was just wiping their arm on your thing, do you think you're protected from COVID? When you wear gloves that transfer disease everywhere, those gloves have bacteria all over them. I'm wearing gloves. Not helping you. As your mask that you're wearing for days, you touch the outside of it, COVID, and then touch your mouth. This doesn't make any sense. Do we need to still shelter in place? Our answer is emphatically no. Do we need businesses to be shut down? Emphatically no. Do we need to test them and get them back to work? Yes, we do. Well, if you have no symptoms, you should be able to return to work. I think we need to open up the schools, start getting kids back to the immune system. And the major events, the sporting events, these are non-essential. Let's get back to those slowly. Let's start with schools, and then eventually we treat this like we treat flu, which is if you have the flu and you're feeling fever and body aches, you just stay home.